Hey harmonizers! Here is a really neat video where I'm going to show you guys the process for training my horses to be in a live play. This video is going to focus on Kahleesi's part. So we basically got called up to do some work with Fourth Line Theatre, which is an outdoor theatre in Millbrook, Ontario. They often do historical plays that are based on real life events that happen, which is pretty cool. So this play that we're doing is called Cavan Blazers, and the play or the theater is actually in Cavan. And so the Cavan Blazers are basically a rebel group, a Protestant rebel group that were keeping the Catholics out. And it was really, really well put together. It's kind of really cool. I've lived in this area for over 10 years and never knew that this theater existed. So I thought that was pretty awesome because it's actually quite larger than what I thought. And Kahleesi is going to be doing a role where she's ridden by the main, by the king, and they really needed to have a white horse because the pictures of this person are always on a white horse, and so they really wanted a white horse. So she is got the job for being a white horse, and she's just pretty happy about eating grass. So to start off with, we're taking around the route that she will need to do for the play, and then we want to get her used to a few of the different things that are going to be happening, such as the flags and the band. And so we're taking her in, letting her eat grass. I want her to associate the theater with just happy times, happy grass. And you can see we're starting off with the band in the background, just with the quieter instruments to start with. I've never really had a live band like directly behind her, so I wanted to start off, quieter and kind of build her up slowly before we bring in the super big drums. And you can see she kind of picks her head up a little bit and kind of thinks about it. And I just offer her some positive reinforcement to say like, yep, that's great, don't react. And she's like, okay, I'll just go back to my grass there. So she's handling it really, really well. And this process just takes a little bit of time as we want to make sure the horse really is fully relaxed before we go on to the next step. So that's super important that she's totally understanding that there's nothing bad going on and that this is just a really happy place to be. So then as we get comfortable, you can see now they're bringing out the drums, and we're going to kind of just keep upping the ante of the different things that she has to get used to. So she has to be used to a live band, big drums. She has to be used to flags going around. She has to be used to people yelling at her because I guess not everybody's a big fan of this character. And so they're going to be kind of yelling and screaming at her. There's going to be an audience, and there's also going to be a gunshot that goes off not while she's on stage, but as she's kind of leaving in the background. So we still need to make sure that she's comfortable with that as well. So she's doing really awesome here with all of the noise and everything. I'm just giving her cookies, positive reinforcement, just getting some grass. And I'm pretty excited to see this all kind of come together and see how this all progresses. You can see there's we've got some people with us from our summer camp. So it just happened to be that this rehearsal time was during our teen week of summer camp. So we said to our group, we were like, if you guys want to come and see something a little bit different, we were able to bring one group on the one day and bring a different group of kids for the next day when we were doing Ginny and Felix's practice, because they're going to be doing the second part that we have horses for in this theater. And we've done movies before. We've done commercials. Kahleesi herself stars in a movie called Autumn Stables, which is a super cute, romantic kind of romantic movie, romantic comedy, I guess, kind of movie. That's a festive movie as well, and super, super cute. And she's also in Unbridled. She's also in some commercials. Doing a play is very different though, because you only get one take. You have to come on stage, the horse needs to do what they've got to do, and then that's it. There's no extra takes, different angles, anything like that. And there's also no practice ahead of time too. There's no, oh, they're setting up and getting the cameras ready, we can go show the horse what they're supposed to do. So we really hope they don't poop on the stage like she is right now. That would be super embarrassing, but it's her first time here, so she's a little bit nervous. So that's a little nervous poo. So we're hoping that that won't happen After we get her fully acclimatized to everything that's going on, we hope that there will be no poops on the stage or anything else that's embarrassing. So here we're just getting her used to everything, and the director's also figuring out where they want the band, where they want the horse to go, because right now, like that's quite a narrow space there to have a band playing, an audience, and to have a horse kind of go in that space as well. So I'm kind of saying like, oh, I'm not really sure about that. Like she can come up to the band, but I don't know how comfortable and how smart it is to have her go beside the band with the audience there. So one of the things for safety purposes when you're working with animals or with horses specifically on set is they need to have what's called a flight path. And that means that in the event that the horse gets overwhelmed and they need to like take off or run away, they need a clear path to be able to get away. And if there's no clear path, well, you can guess it, they're going to make a path and they're going to find their own way out. And we don't want that to be trampling over people. So it's always better to give the horse a clear flight path of where to go. So they end up kind of putting together this route. So this is our first time doing the actual route that she's going to be doing for the play. So we've got the band going on there. We've got Kahleesi walking this path. So she's going to be crossing over this bridge here. So she gets to see that. And they make the decision that she will go all the way up into that space, into the far area, so the audience can get a really good look at her. And then the band is actually going to stop on the bridge and wait there. So there's a clear flight path for Kahleesi to go. And then the band will follow on afterwards. So she's going to come all the way in here. I'm going to give her a cookie in this spot here. I want this to become a mark for her, or a place where she knows where to go. And we're going to try to have a way that she can get a cookie each time that she comes in for the performance in this area. Because otherwise she might be a bit of a smart cookie and realize, well, if we just go over there and exit that way, like why do I have to do this extra little blip and turn in here? So that will help to make sure that she goes all the way in where she's supposed to go. And of course you don't have to give a horse a cookie to do that. You can, just pull them into the corner. But I think it's nice to normalize positive reinforcement and being kinder to our horses, especially in arts, whether it's movies or it's theater. It's just really nice to have that be normalized, to give horses food and have it be a positive experience. So in her case, there is no bit, there are no spurs, there's no whip. It's just completely bitless. You're going to get a cookie. It's a really happy, relaxing scene. And I think that's a really nice thing to display for people. So here is the first time with the actor riding Kahleesi. And so the actor, Ken, he actually has ridden horses before. He grew up with horses. His dad trained horses. And this is not something new to him. So that's really awesome that he actually knows how to ride. Because a lot of times when we have actors, they don't really know how to ride the horses. Even if they've had some lessons, they're usually not super proficient at riding horses. So it's nice that he knows how to do that, especially because there's going to be the live audience. So she goes and gets her cookie there, and then the actors here, they're kind of yelling at him. They don't really like him in this character, so we're not doing full volume yet, but they're getting used to that. And then you can see we've got the flag going. Of course, she's seen lots of flags with our training that we do at home. And then the band is coming in to do their little part as well. So she's getting used to all that noise, where she's going with her path. And then we move on to the next step, which is Ken riding all by himself again, and just kind of raising the level of difficulty now. So now Ken's going to go all by himself through around the corner and over the bridge and everything. So we're just raising the level of difficulty each time and making sure that Kahleesi knows where she's supposed to go and understands the route. We also did some work with the audience as well. We didn't really have a lot of an audience, but we used the actors and the people that were there, and we got them to go up and down the stands. We got them to do some applause, just to make sure she was as used to different things as she possibly could. So here you can see the actors are getting a little bit more animated. She's going to come in and get her cookie up at the corner. So now we've got the person designated. They were going to be standing there anyway, so I'm there giving the cookie, kind of showing how that's going to go. And then one of those people is going to be giving her the cookie as part of the actual play. So that way I don't need to be on set for that. And so that now you can see Kahleesi's walking really relaxed. She's like, okay, like I'm getting the gist of how this whole thing's going down. And then we have the band and the flags coming up behind. And you can see in the way that she's walking, it's more relaxed than when we started, which is perfect. Like we want her getting totally at ease with what it is that we're doing here. Now we are at the trailer and I'm going to take you guys through our first performance. So this was the dress rehearsal performance where they now are going to be all wearing their costumes. It's going to be a little bit different. So we try to let Kahleesi eat her grass as much as possible. You might be thinking, why does she have red tape on her hoof? And it's because she was getting over her abscess that she had, and I just wanted to make sure it stayed clean and nothing got in there. And at this point, we're just doing the dress rehearsal, so she still had the tape on her hoof. So this is now Ken in his costume coming through, and she gets to do the bridge and kind of the run through of the routine. Now everybody in costumes and kind of in the full loudness or full volume is what you would say. And you can see she's going in so relaxed. And now we have a little bit of an audience as well, because we have some of the other actors and things like that. And I asked them to actually come sit down at the front of the stage because they were sitting kind of further up. And so I wanted to make sure that they were all close to where we were going to be. And you can see we've got the band going on, and she did a really good job. She just goes in, no big deal whatsoever. So then I wanted to show you guys the difference between an actual performance night, where now we're coming across and you're going to see that the audience is significantly bigger, totally different, and you can hear the noise. It's much louder. She's going to get her cookie there, and I think it's just great for the audience to see. And you can see it's a packed house. So these performances, we did them for pretty much all of August. So she did this for about 4 weeks. So we needed her to be really consistent. So she kept getting her cookie at the end. And it was kind of funny because as the play went on, the band started to get closer and closer to where she was. They started to go further to the edge of the bridge and ended up getting a little bit closer to her, which was totally great. Kahleesi did not care at all about anything. And it ended up just being a really awesome performance. I ended up getting to see it once because Sarah covered for me so I could actually watch and enjoy the show at one point. And I'll show you guys in a separate video with Ginny and Felix for their part. But here's just a little taste of them coming in, and I'll show you guys more in a different clip.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.